Let's play Who Wore It Better? Lost Caverns of Ixalan edition.
All right, so the first one we're looking at is Abuelo, Ancestral Echo. This is a legendary creature spirit, 2/2, flying ward. I really like this creature just in general.
Yeah.
As far as the style, I personally prefer the showcase on this one. I just like the pose better. The fact that we can... I get a better sense for the kindly personality from that art. I don't think it's lacking necessarily in the original one. I just kind of like the focus on the figure that we get out of that.
The Legend Showcase definitely shows the character's age, because Abuelo is grandfather in Spanish.
Right.
And it does show that, but I think a common thread in a lot of these is that the full art, by virtue of not being restricted to a portrait, just... it shows so much more about the character from context. And so obviously, it's a spirit. Which it says on the type line, but it's an echo, it's a spirit. You can see that better in the... but I think you're right. In this one, I think point to the showcase art.
Yeah, I think you're correct that the original does show the spirit aspect a little bit better. We have more of the ghostly wisps and whatnot coming out. There's some other spirit figures in the background as well. But my personal preference is for the showcase.
All right. Next, Akal Pakal, First Among Equals. This is I forget well, she's the first among equals, not queen, but she's basically the ruler of the core, right?
I think so. I think you read more of the story than I did. So.
That's amazing to me how closely they match throughout this whole entire series. Clearly the art department provided a lot of detail about what these characters were going to look like, because it's the same staff.
Yeah.
It's the same headpiece.
The details are all there, which I was thinking about is really interesting, because these are two separate artists, so I'm not sure what they were provided in terms of reference for that stuff, but yeah, same staff, same headpiece, even the clothes, a lot of the same detailing there.
I mean, it seems like almost they did one piece and then gave the other artist that piece and said, hey, do this same character. But I think that probably didn't happen because of what I've heard about the timelines.
I would assume that's not the case, but that's what it looks like, judging from the results.
Good job on that, guys.
Yeah. Both of them are amazing. I don't know, for this one, my personal preference is actually going to fall for the original, because I like where we can see the character kind of seated on a throne.
Yeah.
I like the staging there for who this person is. I don't dislike the showcase. Between the two, I like that one a little bit more.
Yeah, I think I'm on the same page. All right. Akawali, the Seething Tower.
This one is really cool. I'm kind of biased toward fungus creatures, so that could have something to do with it. But this is a tough one for me, because I really like both of these depictions.
I don't think the original art reads that clearly what it is.
That's fair.
If I look really closely, and we're seeing a very blown up version of this art on this monitor right now, you can make out the face kind of on that upper red frill. But I mean, I've never been able to tell that's what that was until seeing it at this resolution.
That's fair. At card size, this is going to be harder to read.
Yeah.
I do like that about the showcase frame, that we have a very clear depiction of the character. It's very obviously a fungus. We can see the face. I like the little skull on top of the cap there. Yeah. The other one is a lot harder to read, but I again kind of like the sense of scale that I can see here, and we are looking at it on a monitor, so there is that versus seeing it at card size. This kind of reminds me, and I don't know if we want to pull it up for later viewing, but I think it was Yarok, the Sultai legend. That's another one of those. It's a really interesting when you look at it blown up, but it's kind of hard to see at card size what's going on there. It's a really cool painting. Yeah. Really, really cool illustration. Just it's difficult to appreciate at the size that we're most often going to see it. And that's kind of what this reminds me of, is like seeing it in a larger scale. I really like it.
Yeah.
But when we think about it in terms of the game, we're going to be looking at it a little tiny rectangle, and I'm like, yeah, I'm probably not going to. This isn't going to connect with me in the same way that the showcase one, where I'm like, yep, I can see the face. So
I want to give it the showcase on this.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with that just because it is so much easier to see the face.
Great.
Amalia Benavides Aguirre. We love her.
Yes, so much.
So very much. I had a friend recently tell me that I kind of looked like her, and they have no idea how flattered I was by that comparison. Yeah. I don't think they know how much I like her.
Yeah, that's fair. Which of these do you like more, though?
I'm kind of partial to the showcase, and I think part of that is because I saw it first of the two during spoiler season.
Yeah, me too. And I think there's two things I already spent a lot of time just looking at this slide.
Yeah.
and I think it's two things. It's one, the face, and two, the pose.
Yeah.
I don't really have a thorough explanation for the difference in the faces, but the pose, the original art is more, I don't know, dainty, kind of presentational.
I think it's the hands a little bit.
Yeah,
the hand
100%.
gestures is where I'm getting that from.
But I'm trying to figure out what is that conveying that I don't like quite as much. I love them both, but I think I just prefer the showcase mostly on that.
Yeah, I think she looks more regal in the showcase version.
Yeah, she's more competent, and she is portrayed. I don't know how old she's supposed to be since she's a vampire, but she's young and kind of experiencing things for the first time as a character. That's kind of who she is. So I kind of get why she has that vibe in the regular art, but I just don't like it as much. I like the...
I also really like how in the showcase frames we have the border is the same, but they go with some different backgrounds, and I really like the calligraphy that they used for this one, and her little calligraphy pen kind of tying that together is a very nice touch.
Cool. Yeah, and if you don't know what her magic skills are, you should read the stories. It's cool. All right. So it goes to the...
my vote is for the showcase version, 100%.
Amen. All right. Anim Pakal. Is this I think it's the sister of Pakal Pakal, but it could be... They're related. But in any case, Anim Pakal is the leader of the Thousand Sons, the military force. The Bat Riders.
Yeah, I played this card in draft, and it was great. This is another one where it's kind of like the fungus that we were looking at earlier. I love that we can see her face very clearly on the showcase. I also really like that on her original art we can see her little gnome army.
I love the gnome army.
Yeah.
And it feels unfair to give it to that because of that, but I really want to.
I want to because of that. This is one that, having seen it at card size, it's a little harder to appreciate Anim as the central character because we have the gnomes like front and center.
They are kind of front and center, like mechanically, though.
Yeah, that's true.
That's okay.
So that's not a bad thing necessarily. But I think for this one, as much as I love the showcase, I'm probably going to go with the standard printing just because I really like the gnome army.
Me too. All right.
They're so central to the card that like we can't not
for the win.
We can't not show them.
Okay. Good.
Bartolome del Presidio.
I have opinions. I have opinions about all, I think, 3 of the showcase arts done by Pig Hands.
Okay. Yes. Tell me about them.
They have included these bizarre details. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I'm focusing primarily on the jowls and the hands. I don't understand why this character would look particularly emaciated, which I'm getting from the hands.
Yeah.
Which is a little weird for vampire. Like they're got the eternal youth going, and I don't recall anything from the story about him being emaciated. But what these sides of his face thing, they're just like a weird texture just to be kind of funky and gross. And if this was...
It is a little grotesque.
If he was, supposed to be diseased or like Phyrexian or something, I think that'd be awesome. And like... Look at the fabric of the shirt. It's beautiful texture. Like this texture work is amazing artistry, but I don't like the way it's applied to the character.
I'm kind of distracted by the details. Like there's so much going on in the shirt and the skin and everything that I feel like that's probably not supposed to be where my eyes are focused, but I can't stop looking at the folds in the fabric. I still need to finish reading the Ixalan story, I'm going to be honest, but the only thing I can guess is based on our last visit to Ixalan.
Yeah.
I remember part of the vampire church, there was a blood fast that some of them would do. I don't know if maybe that's part of what's going on here, and why he might look like this.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm kind of the same mind. I'm like, I don't know that this necessarily works for this type of character in general. Like, he's not a zombie. He's not a Phyrexian
like the others, they clearly are drawing from the same source. You know, you can see his clothing is extremely similar across the two, and his facial features and everything.
Yeah.
But he's actually, you know, having a feast in the regular card. And the flavor text is, bless this sinner who sacrificed his blood so that I may live. And they do sacrifice someone in the story, I think, to get through a door. But like, I don't think he's fasting. So for that reason, I'm just want to give it to the standard art in this one.
I'm of the same mind. I'm trying to remember the other ones that Pig Hands did, because I want to see if the details are
very soon
or very similar.
But first, we got to look at Breeches, the little monkey goblin pirate.
Oh, what a fun little guy.
Yeah. This showcase art really reminds me of like 90s comic book.
Yeah, I could see that.
And a lot of these, I guess the style throughout, it has more thick lines, kind of in line with comic book, but because of his color, I'm thinking of Beast and X-Men.
Yeah.
It's just where I go.
That makes sense.
Which I find a little bit distracting, and I think also his snoot is a little unnecessarily wrinkly and savage, which isn't, I'm not a bad mood for a goblin, but it just doesn't seem to entirely match with the rest of the goblins of this on Ixalan that I've seen in other arts. So I think standard art just looks more right. It looks like a goblin in Ixalan, whereas
also, this is kind of a fun little piece where he's holding the green skull and clearly having removed it from some pedestal that he probably shouldn't have. Like, I feel like this one tells more of a little story, where the other one just looks kind of vicious.
Yeah.
Like, he's gonna eat my face.
Yeah, and that's cool.
And that's fine. I mean, it's not fine, but
the other one's cooler.
Yeah.
All right.
I like the other
standard art for this one.
Yeah. All right.
Caparocti Sunborn.
Oh, I know why. Okay. I'm very partial to Donata Giancola's work, and I looked at that and was just like, oh, I love this. Who's the artist? I'm like, of course. Like, how did I not immediately recognize it? His paintings are just so amazing.
I don't have a concrete explanation for why, but I think I agree.
Yeah.
And like all of these, like every one of these that I'm not thinking is the best, they're still really good art.
Yeah. They're all great.
But I think just the Giancola.
Yeah, I think just the composition, I love the way he paints light. And that looks so good here, reflected off of the character's armor.
Yep.
I'm going to give it to that one.
Yeah, good enough.
Captain Storm, Cosmium Raider.
This looks like Winnie Sanderson from Hocus Pocus to me. I have thought that.
I think you told me that before, and I cannot unsee that.
Yeah, and so that's just I love these anchor weapons that both of these cards have, and that another of the blue commons, Waylaying Pirates, I think, has they have them throughout.
That's pretty so nifty.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, this is another one where the showcase kind of has more of that comic book vibe with like kind of the heavier lines, and like it's not a bad thing. Just my preference on this one is going to go to the standard version.
Yeah, it has great action.
Yeah.
Which, that's not the fault of the artist.
Sure.
I'm sure the prompt said this action's happening, whereas the showcase. The showcases are generally just portraits. But still, yeah.
Yeah, because normally, my understanding is when artists receive their directives from Magic, they get a number of things. There's a mood that they're supposed to match. There's an official name for the little thing that they're given, their prompt, and it may tell them a lot about the character or a lot about the type of card this is going to be in terms of like what the art should be depicting. Like some of them are a little bit more vague, and I know they do kind of go through a bit of a revisionary process in terms of reaching what Wizards is wanting with the art direction.
Yeah.
But yeah, on this one, I just really like the feeling, the mood of action, something happening. I think a lot of times with these showcase cards where we don't get the benefit of a background, it kind of feels like the static nature of the pose kind of takes away sometimes. And sometimes we like that, like with Amalia, it's nice to just see her like very regal portrait. And then other times I'm like, no, I kind of prefer the one where there's something happening.
Yeah.
I'm just more drawn to that one.
All right. So regular art on this one.
Yes. Huatli, Poet of Unity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think this is another one for me where I'm more partial to the one with the dinosaurs.
Yeah. As I was going through and creating these slides in advance, I started thinking about which ones I prefer. And I started thinking, oh no, do I just like the pretty ones? But this one makes me think, no, because this showcase, that is a prettier person, a prettier, like, just like a more attractive portrait.
Yeah.
But I love the standard art for this because of her, you know, again, the action, the call, the being in the moment. And it's Huatli, Poet of Unity. And I like that they have this warrior poet character where they're juxtaposing poets, which we usually think in the modern day of being, you know, the opposite of warriors. And it really pulls that together nicely.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. And I mean, it's got dinosaurs.
Yeah. All right. Points to dinosaurs.
Inti, Seneschal of the Sun.
I mean, I kind of just wanted to give it to the dinosaur again because it's cooler that he's on a.
Also, like what a great portrait.
Yeah. Yeah, it's incredibly heroic. I don't know, like, I don't want to shortchange the intensity in the facial expression on this showcase art, but also what's going on with his leg position.
I think what we're missing from that is my imagination is that he's standing above somebody, but we don't get to see that.
Yeah, I wonder if this is a crop.
Yeah, I feel like this is probably a crop and there's more to this picture or more to this concept, and maybe if that was there, I might be more inclined to go this way just for its raw intensity.
Yeah.
But given the crop that we have, I am going with the heroic Dino Rider.
Me too. Yes, that is definitely who gets the award.
Yeah.
I just want to point out, I think this is the only one of these that breaks the frame. Inti's sword is breaking the frame on top, which usually they do with Planeswalker cards in particular insets. For some reason,
interesting.
Inti got to do that. All right, moving on. Okay, here's the next pig hands.
Okay, Kutzil, Malamet Exemplar.
And I have the exact same complaint here. Look at the legs of Kutzil in the showcase. What are all these lumps? There's lumpy lumps everywhere, and there are a few larger ones that are muscle masses, and you can see this is just representing muscle. But there's also a bunch of just weird little, almost like tumorous lumps.
Yeah, the leg texture is very interesting here. I work with animals and I'm trying to figure out the anatomy of what's going on, what kind of masses.
But look, I mean, you can tell that Pig Hands has just mastery of texture. Look at the tail.
It's so detailed.
Yeah, I mean, look at how round and smooth the tail feels. So it's just kind of a weird choice that's not vibing with me to put this extra kind of on it. But this is the one that's making you think, do I just like pretty things? Like attractive
I mean, sometimes we do, and there's nothing wrong with that.
And in this case, yes, I like standard Kutzil. It's a pretty
I will
cat
be the
lady.
first to say there's nothing wrong with that.
Okay. Thank you for absolving me.
Yeah, I'm absolving myself as well.
Good. Yes.
But yeah, that one's really pretty. I'm kind of... I feel like this is just a very stylistic choice that I don't love with the... Because like the textural richness is there. There's so much to chew on.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's really cool and interesting to look at, but I'm not fond of it for this particular set. I think in another time and place, like if this was on Phyrexia, I'd be really into this. I would love this.
Given Pig Hands some work in
I think Pig Hands needs to do like a Phyrexian secret lair, maybe.
You know, I'm not just sure throwing that out there. Do any work on Phyrexia?
We're gonna have to go back and look. We'll go back and check, we'll go back and we'll fact check this. Yeah. But yeah, all right. But pretty Kutil it is.
For Kutil, yeah. All right, Malcolm, Alluring Scoundrel.
This one is interesting.
Yeah. I like what they're going for in the showcase, but it's so busy.
Yeah.
It's so incredibly busy that it just, especially the face, it's hard for me to read.
It's kind of hard to process.
And that just makes it pretty clear to me. I give it to the standard.
Yeah, also just, I love this pose with the wings.
Yeah.
We can see the spirits in the water. There's a lot to appreciate there that...
Now, the spirits I didn't actually see at card size. I only noticed those when we were looking.
Yeah, at card size, I think initially when I saw this, I processed that more as water splashes or something going on. I might have seen the one one in the foreground.
Yeah.
But the ones in the background, I definitely saw more as water splashes. I do love the feather texture on the showcase.
Yeah.
That's really beautiful, really well done. But yeah, I think for this, I'm going to give it to the standard printing. I love that pose.
Agreed.
The Myco Tyrant. Yeah.
You should introduce the fungus because,
Yes. I have an affinity for all things moldy. We're
not confusing molds and fungus. It's
cool.
It's cool, internet.
Yeah, please don't come for me for that. But the Myco Tyrant, yes, I really like this one. I love the showcase for this one.
Me too.
I think this is incredible.
When I first saw the standard art, I read the title and I read the text, like, this is a cool card, but what is happening in the art? And I couldn't tell.
Yeah,
it doesn't read at card size.
At card size, it's very hard to appreciate.
It hardly reads even at this blown up size where we're looking at 3 times the resolution. And I can see it if I look closely. I see the face in there and everything, but it's so subtle.
I can see what they're going for, where he's like looming over this structure. It looks like he's looming over a city.
Yeah.
And at a larger size, I love that. But at card size, I had the same issue. Where when I saw this, I was looking at it, I read the box, came back to the picture, and was like, I have no idea what's happening here.
Yeah. So I think easy
I think this is going to the showcase. Everything about it is perfect. I love the little face, and you can see his hands. And his little mushroom caps.
Good job, Andy Braze?
Yeah, I'm not sure on pronunciation, but excellent
job.
Andy. We love it.
Nikanzil, current conductor.
This one is really interesting.
Yeah, so my wife and I play a game where we'll open a booster pack, and she's not really into Magic that much, but I am, and I draft too much, so she'll describe the art to me, and I'll see if I can figure out what the card is.
That's fun.
And I don't actually have a great success rate, but it's interesting. And this one, she's like, are these roots on her head? I don't know. And so I think that kind of says it all. The showcase art just... well, she was talking about the showcase art. It's just, they read strangely, and I still don't actually know what this is. Is it hair? I don't know.
We can play the hat or hair game from Pokemon. Classic pastime.
But do we have a way to answer it?
Well, no, I think that's part of the pastime. We don't have a conclusive answer. But this is a tough one for me because I'm kind of drawn to the showcase one just because I think she's prettier there. But I see what you mean about the kind of hair roots, turnips, mandrakes.
Yeah, I don't know what they are in the standard art either, but they look less like root vegetables to me.
Yeah. We could probably do a whole separate video about merfolk and magic and their different depictions, which I'm going to jot that down and ideas for later. This one's kind of tough for me because, I'm more drawn to the showcase, but I think I just like the way her face looks there.
Yeah. Is this one we're actually going to be split on?
Maybe.
That's
I don't know.
Kind of a problem when you set up a two-person panel to put on things.
We need a tiebreaker for this one, so...
Yeah. High roll?
Sure.
I got a 2.
Okay. Let's see if I can beat a 2. That is a 5.
Showcase gets it. All right.
All right.
So Quintorius Con is a slightly different style type of showcase. But we decided to include him because he's a cool elephant. We're not going to get a chance to talk about him otherwise because we're running out of time for Ixalan because Murders of Markov Manor is coming up. So
it's Karlov Manor.
What?
Karlov.
What'd I say?
Markov.
Anyway, can you blame me?
No.
All right. Anyway, the elephant of the moment, Quintorius. What do you think about these two?
I like them both. I'm kind of torn. I don't know.
But I think the tiebreaker for me is the expression on the showcase art because I don't know. The standard art is very serious and competent, and the showcase is kind of like, what is happening? And
he looks like he's seen some stuff. Which I'm sure as a planeswalker he has. But yeah, that it is kind of funny and sort of drags me out of the moment.
But in a fun way?
But in a fun way.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I don't hate it. I'm just like, I'm really wondering what he's looking at right now.
So do we give it to that?
Yeah, I mean, I play Magic for fun.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go with the fun answer.
Fun elephant. Saheeli.
This one is so pretty.
And this one is so easy for me. Like, I'm looking at these two pictures, and is one of these just so much more fun to look at?
Yeah.
Yes, and it's the showcase.
Yeah.
Again, like, the standard art, beautiful also.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I this transcends my ability to fully explain why. But it's got action, despite being...
yeah, I've been trying to put together kind of my own mental metric for what I like to see in Magic cards, and I think when we have a named legendary creature or planeswalker, with some exceptions, I really want them to be like the focus, like we have here with Saheeli, where like she's right up front in the center. We can see her doing her metalcraft. The other one, Saheeli, the Sun's Brilliance in the standard frame, I really like that too. I like the dinosaur. We can still see what she's doing. It's clearly her, but we're kind of getting that more from her garment.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I kind of wish that this was a sorcery or an instant that named her. Like there's Saheeli's, I forget, there's a spell where you can copy a token or copy an artifact, and it's Saheeli's something.
Artistry?
It might be Saheeli's artistry. I kind of wish this was something like that.
Yeah.
Where it's referencing her, but maybe it's not her, like her face card, where this is going to represent her in the game. And I really like this showcase for that better.
Yeah. All right.
Sovereign Okinek Ahaul.
Pig Hands is back.
Yes.
With more gnarly bumps
we got
everywhere.
Some bumps. Real bumpy.
This is the bumpiest, I think.
Yeah, I'm looking at the hand right now.
Same.
Those are some bumpy hands.
Yeah, so same objection. Like, I just don't know what's going on with that. And this is not my favorite standard art. I don't know. I do like the lighting.
I like the feet. Great job on depicting feline feet there.
Looks incredibly grounded and weighty.
Yeah, I like the feeling of weight. I think sometimes we lose that in animation and fantasy art. We don't always get a sense of weight for things, and that helps it feel a lot more real, helps bring it kind of down to earth, if you will.
Yeah. And you know that, I think that probably leads to, it really does feel like this is the sovereign. This is the leader of this group. Whereas the showcase art, it looks like a warrior, but it just looks like a berserker, probably one of many. It doesn't have that kind of commanding presence.
Yeah, definitely the presence in the other one. We're helped by seeing his clan behind him. But yeah, I feel like he has a very commanding presence. Like, he is the king in this picture.
Yeah. All right, well.
So I think that's pretty clear.
Yep. We've talked about
we have
before,
talked
but
about
we didn't have to choose between glorious
my goodness.
I would propose that, oh my god, that screaming top skeleton in the showcase wins. Just look at that joyous rage.
Yeah, well, this is another one that we talked about at length in the other video, where at card size, I didn't get a really great appreciation for the standard art.
Yeah.
I kind of got it a little bit, but
we had
the showcase, like, really...
Yeah.
was eye-catching for me, and when I saw that, I was like, I want to do something with this card. I still haven't done anything with this card, but I want to do something with it. Maybe I'll build a curiosity deck. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Okay, so it goes to the
showcase.
Veto. Fanatic, not fanatic. Fanatic of Aclazots.
Aclazots. So Vito's back.
Yeah.
Oh, this one's tough. I think I prefer the showcase. Or
really?
No, the standard.
Okay.
Sorry.
To me, it's an easy standard.
Yeah, for me, it's the standard one.
For two reasons in this case. The showcase, the underside of his chin, I guess this is a beard or something.
Yeah, I think
it's just strange. It's just strange.
He has.
And I realize it's kind of in the same pose. The perspective is below, looking up at his face, but it just is too exaggerated in the showcase.
Yeah,
it looks weird.
In the normal one, he has that very high collared thing. He doesn't look like he is looking up as much.
Yeah.
So he's kind of looking down at us.
But also look at the hands on the showcase. They are weird, flippery hands.
Yeah, a little flippery.
Yeah, and just don't have those issues with the main art. And the main art, the standard art looks very Renaissance, incredibly textured. It almost has that more real than real oil painting sense to it. It's I think that's
we'll have to pull up a picture of Vito's other card from the past.
Okay.
But his pose in Fanatic and in the showcase one is very similar. And right. He's the life gain who combos with exquisite blood. Yes. So he's basically doing that pose.
Yeah.
And so I don't love this for this set just because this one does not convey to me how he's become a vampire demon. In this other one, he's like floating off the ground almost. Yeah, like I don't get the sense that he is any different from the last time we saw him.
Yeah, okay.
In the showcase. So
That's
I'm
very
gonna,
legitimate.
All preferences aside, I'm gonna go with the standard just for that reason alone.
Excellent. And now we come to the whole reason I really, really wanted to do this particular topic.
Yep.
Zoyoa. And there's just no contest whatsoever.
No.
I mean, if the showcase art didn't exist, I'd be like, that is a cool, grody goblin.
Yep. It's a grody little goblin.
But I want to hug the other one.
I do.
Love him. He can take him home. He can pet and he can eat me, and I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care if he eats me. It's fine.
That's the best.
I mean, he can nibble on my toes. It's fine. I don't care.
Yeah.
Just look at him. He's just a little guy.
Would you say he's cash money?
He's very cash money. I think that goes without saying.
Yes.